knowing what you're going to expect? How do you mentally prepare yourself for a match like that?
Well, I'm kind of tired of these weaklings that I've been facing lately. So I don't really prepare for any of them. I mean, if anything, they should be preparing for me. They know what's up. And they know what my background is. They know how long I've been doing this. So I'm not really going to be fazed by anybody that knows they're here.
Anyone that you see as a potential threat? I mean, anyone that...
I mean, they already sent me a couple people from Japan. What else they got? Someone from Mexico. I know they've been getting a lot of the luchadors here, so bring it on.
You are scary in the ring.
Your in-ring style and your just whole style, for that matter, are so unique in pro wrestling right now. What's kind of the creative process that gets you to kind of like become the performer that you are now? How did that all sort of come together?
Yeah, so obviously my background is the biggest thing. Like, I started with martial arts. I got a black belt in Taekwondo, and then I went into Muay Thai and kickboxing. But I've always kept an eye on pro wrestling since I was little as well. And I've always pictured myself being in the ring. So finally, I got myself into it. I saw how well prepared, not well prepared, but I was very comfortable in the ring. It felt familiar being in a ring because I fought in squares, I fought in circles, so like this felt like home on that.
Anybody who, in pro wrestling, who inspired your style in any way along the way?
Yeah, I watched a lot of Tajiri and Doggy Jam. For the women, Victoria was the biggest one too, because I love her attitude.
I was sitting next to somebody last time who specifically pointed out, that kind of like Tajiri, so
yes.
kind of.
Oh, thank you.
My question for you is, you see an evolution of women's wrestling across all platforms. What is your thoughts exactly on the evolution? Are you happy at the places that you think it could be better? Or?
I'm definitely happy with where it's at. There's a big difference, even from just a few years ago, there's a big difference. We've been able to change a lot of things, improve a lot of things, make the locker rooms better for us, and there's a lot more all-women's promotions out there. So I love where it's going, and there's more of the younger generation coming up too and killing it. And I like to say that we basically knocked the door down. We're just, trying to see who wants us.
Yes, absolutely. So March is Women's History Month.
Mm-hmm.
So on the spot, I'll get you on the spot. Yeah, top 5 women professional wrestlers.
Top 5. Well, I always say Victoria. She's really inspired me. Lita. Asuka. Trish was another. Trish Stratus. And I would say the final one would be. Which I was on the spot. You know what? I'm gonna put Io.
Yeah.
Io is definitely someone recent that inspired me.
When you think of somebody who has organic growth, like Becky Lynch, is that something that you would want to do, or would you want more of the machine push? And on any platform, not just.
Well, I feel like just being on the indies is just very organic as it is coming up. I didn't really get any spots that quick. I really had to work hard from where I was at. I went through a very, very life-risking injury, and I traveled to Japan, to the UK. I've done everything myself. I didn't really have anyone to help me or really put out a word for me, so I feel like it's already becoming organic as it is.
Yeah.
And what you're seeing is very organic as it is, so yeah.
Self-made. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
You spoke about how wrestling has changed, especially for women's wrestling. Is there anything that you like to see personally change that you think needs work? Something that if you can make a decision or a choice in women's wrestling or wrestling in general, is there anything that you like change or just be different?
Well, there's still little things here and there. I mentioned the locker room, we're getting better at it, but it can just overall be better. When I say the locker room, I mean just making sure that we're safe, making sure that we have our own space in the locker room, things like that where we feel absolutely comfortable, because there are certain things that we think of but we feel like we can't say it. And I speak for a lot of women, like we feel like we can't speak up for ourselves. So we want to be able to feel comfortable to do that.
You mentioned working in Japan, you mentioned working in the UK. So many things with Forbidden Door and everything like that over the last several years. A lot of it on the men's side, not as much of it on the women's side. You mentioned you faced some, Joshi wrestlers even here too. How much more would you like to see that coming to the U.S. From all different directions in the short term?
I would like to see that happen a lot more, for sure. I can see a lot more of the Joshis coming now, and that's great. I think they can really push us and we can create something magical together with the different styles. So I want to see more of that for sure. And of course, I want to see more of us that are based here and go over there and really make something. So I would love to see it way more.
So breaking down doors and doing what you're doing, what would you give somebody that's aspiring to be a wrestler, a female wrestler? Any words, encouragement, anything like that, advice?
Yeah, definitely be yourself and make sure you absolutely want to do this. Talk to a lot of people before you make the decision, because it is a really big decision. You're basically going to make this your whole life. You cannot cut corners or BS anything, because if you do, it will show. It will absolutely show. There's no way you can make any shortcuts with this, because it will show in the ring.
Matt Cascone from the Queen's Gazette and the Mark It Down podcast. How did you come up with your iconic hairstyle, and would you ever put it on the line in a hair versus hair match?
Good question. I randomly thought of this hairstyle. This was during COVID, actually, that I decided to do this. I did rock my natural curly hair, and I started straightening it, and I was like, this could be something. And I can also have this at my other jobs or something, or a part-time job. You're okay with this. I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna keep it. And it just felt right. I don't know, it felt like me. I always thought about a mohawk too, so I put it together. I clean my mohawk myself too at home, so I like it, and it's very manageable, very easy.
Would you ever do a hair versus hair match?
Yes, I would. I wouldn't mind. I think I haven't seen a hair versus hair match in a while, so I wouldn't mind being a part of that.
Serena was the last person you had.
What was that?
Serena was the last person.
Oh yeah, yep.
Everybody good?
Can I get a picture of her?